Yo, what is going on, guys? Welcome back to Mad Talks United. And in today's video, we're going to be discussing Manchester United and how they have signed Manuel Ugarte from PSG. Before we actually get into the video, make sure you guys leave a like and subscribe on the channel. Greatly appreciate you guys supporting the channel and want to keep feeding you guys content here. Also, make sure to turn on post notifications as well to let you know anytime I upload a video or go live on the channel. But yeah, United and Ineos, they finally get their man in Manuel Ugarte. And look, this is a transfer that has been stalling a little bit, and we waited a while for this deal to get done. I remember, I think it was probably around mid-July when United officially announced the Lenny Euro signing. And right after that deal was announced, we got the news from Fabrizio Romano that United had in fact agreed personal terms with Manuel Ugarte. So it's been about a month and a half wait for this deal. But look, it's been frustrating because we wanted this guy to come in, but Ineos waiting and waiting to get their price that they wanted. It worked out because we got the news from David Ornstein today, and the final deal was 50 million euros plus 10 million euros in add-on. And initially, PSG wanted just 60 million euros up front. So with United waiting and Ineos being patient to get their deal, they were able to cut 10 million off the initial fee and instead replace those with 10 million in add-ons. So all around, it's a very good deal for United. And look, this is a guy that United desperately needed because you look at the midfield, right, and the midfield options. You already have Scott McTominay going to Napoli, which was it's a great deal, 30 million euros. Bye bye, Scott. Thanks for what you did for the club, but it was time to move on because you're just not good enough anymore, and United need to progress. So they got rid of McTominay. Hannibal's going to Burnley. Christian Eriksen might be going, so we'll see what happens there. But when you looked at the midfield options, you had Bruno, Mount, you had Kobe, and you had Casemiro as really the main four. Obviously, you have a guy in Toby Collier, but Toby Collier is more of it's only his first year breaking into the first team, so you want to ease him in. You just don't want to throw him in straight in there. But Ugarte, he's going to come in, and most likely depending how United want to play, because they could do it multiple ways. I probably initially see him as him and Casemiro are going to split time because they're more of in terms of the same player. They're more in terms of breaking up play, moving the ball up, energetic, tackling. So they're very similar in terms of those. So I think that a lot of the times you will see them interchange for one another. But also in the big games, if you want to be a little more defensive and a little more compact, you could go and set up a double pivot of Manuel Ugarte and Casemiro. So there's plenty of options to go around. I think for me, my midfield that I would like to see personally is I would like to see a base two of Ugarte and Casemiro and Kobe up front as a 10. Because listen, you guys know I'm not a fan of guys like Bruno Fernandes and Mason Mount. I don't think they're good enough for the club, and I think eventually they will have to be moved on. Obviously, this was just the first summer under Ineos, so I expect more big moves to be done as we get into the later windows like next summer, and maybe even see potentially what happens in the January window. But look, I do think that while Ugarte is a great signing and he provides things that this midfield needed in terms of breaking up play and being high energetic and pressing, I think United do need another midfielder because going into this transfer window, I said that United need two midfielders. They have one. Now, I don't know if they're going to get another, but for me personally, I would like to bring in a guy like Adrian Rabiot on a free, experienced. He's played in big games for France, for Juventus, for PSG. So obviously he knows what it feels like to be at a big club. So that's a guy that I would like to go out and get personally. Like I said, he's on a free, so it's not going to cost anything. It's just going to be dependent on wages. But United also need a second midfielder in terms of because they really don't have a guy who can pick up the ball all off the center backs and then run with the ball, move the ball forward. They need a guy like that. Obviously, they were interested in a guy like Sander Berge, but that unfortunately didn't happen as he went to Fulham because Fulham initially wanted Scott McTominay, but they couldn't get that deal done. So they turned their attention to Sanderberg and they got that deal over the line. But yeah, look, in terms of this window, I'd say so far with, the guys being moved on, with the guys being brought in, I would say that this transfer window for me is at a 6. Now, that's not saying I don't like the players being brought in because I do like the players being brought in and I like the guys that they've moved out and sold. However, I do think they need more. Like I just said, they need a second midfielder. And with this whole Jadon Sancho saga going on, if Jadon Sancho ends up leaving, which which from reports from David Ornstein, it's most likely going to happen that he will leave. United have to bring in another attacker. Now, look, we've heard the thing that Chelsea is very interested in Jadon Sancho, and if he goes there, it would be a swap because United will have to bring back another guy from Chelsea. And we've heard the reports that Raheem Sterling might be that guy. I'm going to keep it flat out. I don't want Raheem Sterling. And it's not just because he played for City, he played for Liverpool. It's not like that because I really don't care if he played for those clubs, really. I just don't think he has it at the top level anymore. I think we've seen a slow decline in his game, especially over the last 2 years. I just don't think, he's at that level anymore. And I don't think United should be going for a guy like that. But let's see what happens. I mean, my thing personally, if he's gonna go, I'd prefer him to go to Juventus because and one also, if he goes to Chelsea, you're just strengthening another top four rival, which you don't want to do. So I would much rather him go to Juventus and ball out over there because I think Thiago Motta will get would do a good job in terms of getting the potential out of Sancho. But if they let go of Jadon Sancho, right, they have to bring in another attacker because right now this attack is dead. Like let's be honest. Like as your two strikers right now, you have Joshua Zirkzee and Rasmus Højlund, and Højlund's out right now. And on terms of your wings, it's not pretty either. You have Rashford who's playing like shit. You have Garnacho who's just a bench player. You have Anthony who's not good. Let's just be simple. Anthony's not good. And then you have Amad Diallo, who's your only attacking winger right now. So if Sancho's going to go, you have to bring in another attacker. And for me, that guy would be Ivan Toney. Because Ivan Toney, like, sure, yes, you would have three strikers at that point, but Ivan Toney's experienced. He knows the Premier League, and he plays the type of football that is necessary to be a good Premier League team. He's a good link-up guy. He could score goals, deadly on penalties. That is a guy that I would love to bring in personally. But listen, I'm not in control of transfers, and we have to see what happens. But yeah, overall, I like the Ugarte deal. It sucked that he had to wait for this long, and it sucked for us that we had to wait for this long for this deal. But it finally happened. Ineos and United, they got the price that they wanted. So all around, I'm very happy. Now, look, hopefully he will be in the squad and ready to go for Liverpool. I don't know exactly because I know he's been sitting out the last two games for PSG's matches. I don't know in terms of how he trained over there. So in terms of match fitness and match sharpness, I don't know how he is, but I hope that he is ready to go for the Liverpool game and at least be ready off the bench because most likely he will be needed in that game. But yeah, anyway, guys, that is my reaction to the Manuel Ugarte signing. Like I said, I love it very much, but we need another midfielder. And if Sancho goes, we need another attacker. But anyway, guys, that's going to be it for the video. Hope you guys liked and enjoyed the video. Like I said before, leave a like and subscribe. Also, turn on post notifications to let you know I upload a video or go live on the channel. But yeah, that's going to be it. Peace, guys. Glory, glory, Man United.